When TXT entered the scene as the younger siblings of worldwide phenomenon BTS, many believed their rise to fame would be effortless, that they would naturally enjoy the advantages of being big hits, prized newcomers, would shield them from the darker side of the idol industry. But reality told a far different story. Behind the glimmering spotlight and infectious melodies hides a harsh reality of exhausting routines, hazardous practice environments, and harsh disciplinary measures that stunned fans and made them reconsider the true price of stardom. From the very start of their journey, TXT's story has been one of extreme pressure and sacrifice, one that many fans only truly grasped years after their debut, when the members Wanti. They started to uncover the tough realities they faced during their training and the demanding challenges of their professional journey. Unlike the image of polished performers appearing effortless on stage, TXT's members endured a punishing routine that pushed them beyond their limits. Just months after finishing promotions for Good Boy Gone Bad in May 2022, TXT barely caught their breath before plunging headfirst into a world tour that kicked off in July. From that summer until October's end, they were almost constantly on the move, performing back-to-back concerts, flying internationally for major festivals like Lollapalooza and Summer Sonic, and promoting new music with barely a day to rest. But the exhausting cycle didn't stop there. Award shows, variety show shoots, photo shoots, interviews, and more world tours followed, each demanding perfection despite fatigue. Fans were the first to notice the toll this schedule was taking. When Subin collapsed on stage and was hospitalized in November 2023, fans' concerns turned urgent. The company confirmed he needed rest, but the question on everyone's mind was, why was it allowed to reach this point? It wasn't just Subin. Another member, Taehyun, openly shared how rehearsals made him physically sick and emotionally drained, confessing to breaking down alone in his room. Even more distressing was Yeonjun revealing Taehyun had pushed through a 39-degree fever just to rehearse. Commitment, yes, but at what cost? Incidents piled up during the tour's U.S. leg. Huening Kai fainted after a show, laughing it off while fans feared for his health. Bonggu's onstage nosebleed added to the growing alarm. By September, exhaustion was so severe that Subin admitted on a live stream he couldn't even finish meals because chewing and swallowing felt like too much effort. Meanwhile, rehearsals demanded new choreography at a breakneck pace, sometimes with mere days to learn complex steps while simultaneously promoting and traveling. Taehyun questioned openly whether such an intense regimen was even physically possible. But TXT's struggles didn't start with this exhausting schedule. Months earlier, casual live streams intended to share funny trainee memories took a dark turn. Subin, Taehyun, and Huening Kai revealed how harsh their trainee years were. Years filled with diet restrictions so extreme they had to sneak snacks in secret, living in cramped, unsafe vents. The dorms suffer from broken air vents and floors so soaked that mushrooms have started to grow. The broken-down practice rooms fogged mirrors relentlessly, forcing them to wipe with old newspapers and face freezing cold drafts that caused sickness. And it wasn't just the environment. Danger lurked in faulty wiring that led to electric shock rooms, where trainees risked injury from exposed cords. The physical hazards alone would be enough to deter most, but emotional and psychological struggles were even harsher. The members recalled how evaluation days bred a toxic atmosphere. Critics were never satisfied, too original and you were scolded for deviating from the script, too exact and your input was dismissed as meaningless mimicry. The environment fostered anxiety and crushed self-expression. Then came the most shocking revelations: physical punishment during lessons. Subin and Taehyun described how, as young teenagers still in school, they were given advanced 17-step choreographies with virtually no instruction, expected to learn by watching videos alone. Without proper guidance and with barely basic dance training, many trainees inevitably struggled. Instead of support, some were struck by older trainees tasked with discipline. While Subin and Taehyun escaped harsher treatment thanks to intervention, others were not so lucky. The idea that these young teens were physically punished, hit for not perfecting material no one properly taught them, sent chills through fans and the wider audience. Rumors about such harsh practices had long circulated, but hearing it from the idols themselves gave disturbing confirmation. Many wondered, how could adults entrusted with nurturing these kids' dreams treat them so harshly? Netizens speculated about the lingering presence of such staff and questioned if those responsible had truly been removed. The trauma was normal enough to be downplayed by the idol's casual tone when recounting it, but that normalization only highlighted just how widespread and ingrained these practices were in parts of the K-pop trainee system. What was meant to be discipline became cruelty, and it raises bigger questions about the industry's dark underbelly, a system that molds perfection at any cost, often at the peril of young lives. But why did Big Hit, a modern powerhouse, allow this? Industry experts point to the pressure on agencies to keep pace with global demand, maximize productivity, and endlessly churn out content and tours, often pushing idols beyond their health limits. The fan culture, too, plays a role. Constant expectations for new releases, flawless performances, and interaction in variety shows and social media trap idols in an unrelenting cycle. TXT's story is a cautionary tale about the cost of fame in an industry obsessed with perfection and output. It forces a critical look at idol culture, corporate responsibility, and the balance between artistry and human well-being. So where does TXT go from here? These revelations have sparked discussions worldwide about artist welfare and the urgent need for reform in idol training and management. Fans hold their breath, hoping the scars of the past become catalysts for change. Can Big Hit and the entire K-pop world hear the call? Can future idols avoid the same abuse? And for TXT themselves, how will these experiences shape their futures, both as artists and as young men reclaiming control over their lives? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear, behind the glittering stage, the real story is far more complicated and far more human than fans ever imagined. The world of K-pop, dreams are made and sometimes broken in the shadows. The shining spotlight always hides a story waiting to be told. What will TXT's story mean for the idols yet to come? The next chapter has only just begun.